Greetings everyone, this is Kyle, also known as Alientude, and this time I'm taking a look at a kukri from Great Gurkha Khukuri. I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, so please forgive me in advance. This is the Chitlange Gurkha Khukuri. A bit about myself first. I'm a fan of swords, knives, and other melee weapons. My specialty, if you could call it that, is medieval swords, but I'm in no way an expert. I'm an amateur collector with no training in martial arts or history. Keep that in mind during this review. You're listening to the opinions of an amateur. It probably goes without saying, but just in case, this review is about the specific kukri I received. I can reference the reputation that GGK has, but that's basically hearsay. All I can really talk about with any degree of confidence is the kukri I've handled myself. Kukris are traditionally associated with the Gurkhas, or soldiers, of Nepal and India. They have a very distinctive overall look, with a forward curve, large belly, and typically thick spine. They can range from knife-sized all the way up to short swords, and are an all-purpose sidearm. They're meant to be as much a tool as a weapon. Great Gurkha Khukuri, the maker of this blade, was founded in 1992 by Purna Darnal, a Nepalese smith. He's still the primary owner of GGK, although it looks like they've expanded to include other smiths. GGK is based in Nepal, and from what I've seen online, has a great reputation as producing very high quality work at affordable prices. There's a lot of variety in kukri design available on GGK's website. A quick browse of their selection shows over 150 models. This one is marketed with a hunting tag, so I guess its design is geared more towards small game, skinning, and such. I'm not a hunter though, so I can't really speak to that. My wife bought me this kukri for our 18th wedding anniversary. It was delivered about 1 month after ordering and came well packaged. The Chitlange Khukuri is a style that, from what I can tell, has a pattern engraved and or etched into the first half of the blade. Here's some pictures of other kukris of this type for comparison. This style of kukri is named for a small village near Kathmandu. I presume that means the patterns originated from that village. By the way, if you're interested in any of the kukris I just showed, you can find links to them in the description. I believe the gripper part of the name refers to the handle construction. With its prominent finger swells, this kukri is easy to grip and it locks your hand in place. That makes sense to me at least. The handle is a through tang with 2 rosewood scales and copper rivets, as well as a hollow pin to allow for a wrist strap or lanyard. There's what appears to be a steel butt cap that's pinned to the tang. The peen is beautifully done. Not only is it clean and even, but quite a bit of attention was given to form it into this diamond shape. On the other side of the handle is an integral guard. The fact that this is so well shaped while being one piece of steel with the rest of the blade is really impressive. It's quite a bit of work to move that much metal into that shape. The edges of the guard are nicely shaped so they don't bite into my hand. Sadly, I can't say the same for the edges of the tang. As you can see, it sticks out from the rosewood scales just a touch, creating sharp ledges that can make for some uncomfortable rubbing against the palm and fingers. The rivets here have the same problem, although to a lesser degree. This might be due to the difference in climate between Nepal, where it was made, and Southern California, where I live. It's possible the wood scales have shrunk a bit. Wearing gloves, or possibly just having more calloused hands, might help with this problem. The included scabbard is a leather-wrapped wood core. I'm impressed with its construction. For a total price of about $100 US, this is an exceptional add-in. Most knives in this price range would include a simple leather sheath at best. Here we have a very sturdy scabbard that holds the blade well, includes a belt loop for easy carry, and is great looking to boot. Great value. Before I get to the kukri itself, it also comes with 2 traditional small blades, a chakmak and karda. I'm probably pronouncing those wrong, so please forgive me. The karda is a small blade that is quite sharp. I believe it's a general-purpose small knife, often used for cutting small pieces of wood, skinning animals, and all sorts of other uses that the kukri would be too large for. It seems well made, and while not as sharp as the kukri itself, it's no slouch. The chakmak is a thick piece of steel in the general shape of a knife, but as you can see, it's not actually one. It doesn't have an edge. It's designed for field honing of the kukri and for striking sparks. It's got some nice decorative carvings in the handle here. All in all, these are a nice addition to what works out to be quite the package for $100. Okay, time to look at the blade. During this, please note that I only know little bits and pieces about kukris. I'm even more of an amateur with them than with medieval swords. That said, this seems like a pretty traditional shape for a kukri. It's got a honkin' thick spine for strength, and the long bevels come down to an extremely sharp edge. The etching and engraving on the blade is nice. I like the pattern, and it's well done. Let's talk about that thick spine. As I said, kukris are, to my understanding, considered general-purpose tools used for bushcraft as well as sidearms. They're intended to be used to chop through wood and still be able to slice nicely. That thick spine keeps the blade strong, and combined with the forward weight, really makes chopping feel good. This blade is either the sharpest one I own, or the second sharpest, and it's competing only with another GGK item I own, a custom-designed scimitar or shamshear that I bought secondhand. Purna is known for his ability to put amazingly sharp edges on blades while still maintaining good durability. To give you an example of the sharpness of this kukri, I did some paper cutting with it. I don't expect swords or knives to be able to cut paper cleanly, and often don't bother testing. It might seem counterintuitive, but getting clean cuts on paper is actually pretty difficult. In the modern world, we're spoiled by scissors, a purpose-built tool that typically doesn't need to do anything else. Most swords I own can cut paper fairly cleanly, but they tend to tear it at points. This kukri sliced through the paper like it wasn't even there. With that sharp of an edge, is the durability a concern? Normally I'd be worried. So I took this to a stump in my backyard and gave it some good chops. These weren't love taps. The kukri took no damage whatsoever. The stump left some sap or something on the blade, but once I cleaned that off with a little Windex, there was no trace left. This is a seriously impressive edge. So, cutting paper and chopping wood works beautifully. How about with my typical cutting targets, pool noodles and water bottles? First, please remember I'm an amateur at cutting. I have no training, and I still struggle with edge alignment. Any failed cuts are most likely my fault, not the blades. That being said, it performed very well, as you might expect. Aside from a couple misaligned cuts, the kukri made short work of the targets I put in front of it. It was a breeze to cut with. Bottom line, is it worth the price? For $99 plus $40 shipping, I say not only yes, but heck yes. A total price of $139 US for a beast of a kukri, very well made scabbard, plus chakmak and karda, that's an absolute steal. The only niggling complaint I have is the sharp edges of the tang biting into my hand. But like I said, I'm betting that's caused by the difference in climate. Even with that complaint, I think this is a phenomenal deal. Well, that wraps up another review. Thank you for watching, and if you happen to enjoy the video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Alien Toot out.